The essence of what that plant medicine is supposed to do, the actual magic inside it, is changed in some way so that it fits that colonial delivery system.
Yeah,
So,
it's the weaponization of plant
so
medicine.
how do we prevent that?
Yeah, I mean, I would say that, you know, it's almost inevitable that a lot of it's going to happen because there's a seeking to regulate, psychedelic alternatives, and then but within that regulation, which, to a certain degree, is it's to make sure that you're not taking too much of it, right? But also it's the piece of like that these psychedelics are then not going to be affordable to the public, so it just becomes the rich white man's medicine alternative that's not affordable to the mad unhoused person who might be struggling on the streets. So I think that there's a piece of that too, and I think that that's often forgotten from the conversation. But I think a good way for us to avoid taking such wonderful plant medicines and industrializing them in such a way is actually considering that the distribution and application of it be in its natural form as much as possible, and actually, that there is there would have to be groups that consider the fact of like the policies and regulations that would be needed to then in that mass distribution and how these medications end up being FDA approved, that there's not other chemical substances included
Right.
in these things. And I think that there's infrastructure that needs to be built and that we shouldn't roll it out too quickly.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, see, it's difficult because, the other part of me just wants to say, well, why don't we just embrace a more inclusive, understanding of what it means to do these things? I want to learn from the people who have used this in their culture for centuries.
Yeah.
I don't really want to care. I don't really care what the guy says who's the expert and he's wearing the lab coat. Like, to me, that doesn't mean anything to me. So, like, I hope that something is preserved along those lines. And I do know that a lot of people in the movement, they do want that. They want that ability to say, well, listen, I want to use it therapeutically, recreationally, but have it, I want to be able to distribute it in the way I need. Or
I'm just speaking in terms of us. Like, we have governments, we exist in the ways that we do right now. Perfect ideal way of how this should be taken is there should be ancestral guidance.
Yeah.
There should be elder guidance, right? Being like, hey, like, this is how historically I have used it, and my elders have used it. This is how you can utilize it. This is how you can release it from your body after utilizing it. These are the things you can do. And then having a shared network of information in that way, also having all that information compiled for future generations to pass on. I mean, there's a lot of indigenous societies doing this.